All right, I'm gonna film this video a bit YOLO because I've been procrastinating it. I was trying to shoot it on the MacBook, but compatibility issues. So here it is. We're gonna do a 2024 recap as well as goals for 2025. I think it's important to kind of like flesh out and introspect on your year every year, just to see how much progress you've made, if you're progressing towards your goals, if you need to reassess goals, etc. For example, for me, 2024 was a lot of professional progress. It's the year I really went hard on my business and I really failed a lot. So one example is I used to do, basically I do media production as well as personal branding. And I realize now in hindsight that what I do is not so straightforward, right? I have a lot of different services that I've tried offering people, but there was always a lack of compatibility. So let's start from one of my clients. I used to do social media marketing for a club in Toronto called Mild Afro Lounge. So I used to handle their social media, post content, reply to messages, and I was handling with a partner. And then I actually got fired by this company around April, and I'm actually super happy about it. It was just not the right fit, and honestly, after that partner left and I had handled the contract by myself, I hired somebody else to kind of fulfill the video, but it was still kind of lacking, my spirit was not really in it. So actually what ended up happening is the guy that was working for me took the whole contract. I don't know if he made the whole money that I was making or if he negotiated a better deal, but it's all good, no hard feelings. I really believe that business is like these businesses, like that club that I was working for, they're fighting for survival, right? And also they're trying to thrive, but it's like if I was making them 20K a month, they would have had no issue paying me that 1K that I was charging them, right? So if I underdeliver, then it's not personal, it's just business. And then I also did a lot of photo shoots for this guy named, what's your name? Yeah, his name is Munir. He throws events and stuff and he hired me to cover them. That partnership, we might revisit in 2025. I still owe him a reel. So Munir, if you're watching this, I haven't forgotten. I've also underdelivered on that because I don't have the right systems to really produce the media quality and personal branding that I think I could. It's a hard job, and you kind of have to be cutting edge and top of the line. Otherwise, well, the whole point of personal branding is you put out great and elite level footage on social media. And if you're putting subpar, then you're kind of defeating the purpose. So I don't think I was putting subpar, but I was putting good when I could have done, I don't know if I could have done it, but in theory, it was potential to be phenomenal and excellent. And yeah, a lot of the stuff I was just lazy and overwhelmed and lacked the proper people on my team to do it. And when I had some people on my team to do it, like my management skills still need some work. So it's a learning opportunity in progress. But overall, it's going in the great direction. I'm building communities. I have creatives community across at least 3 big cities now in Toronto, in Calgary, and in Montreal. I have some other smaller ones, but I'm not going to count them for now. One of my big wins for 2024 was also this investing and business community that I've built, especially the investing one. One of the highlights of my year has been getting my financial knowledge up. So both of the stock market and in crypto. And it's actually, shout out to Carol Crystalis on YouTube. It's actually a growth hacking way. Or what you do is you create a community for the people that are already know more than you. So you give them a platform to exchange ideas and you facilitate that and then you learn through that, right? So I've started this group, I don't know exactly when, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, give or take August or September. And then some of the guys in there are strangers, some of the guys are good friends of mine, and I've learned a lot through interacting and building this community with them. So that's been one of the highlights of my year. One of the other highlights is for Royals Agency. So that is the unofficial name of my business, unofficial business because it's not incorporated, but I've been running it as that on social media for, I think, most of the year now. And actually, one of the funniest parts was I actually did a porn shoot through that agency with Maisie and Ryan. Shout out to you guys. Didn't end up becoming full porn. It was a mix of OnlyFans and stuff. But yeah, it was basically an opportunity that was thrown in my way. And I'm very open-minded with this type of stuff. Not that I want to shoot porn as a living, but I like trying stuff, get new experiences. It was a hot girl that I'm friends with now, so it's funny. And then, yeah, it was actually, I learned a lot through that. I won't give you guys too much details, but actually, yeah, I learned the importance of having someone in place that doesn't lose their cool under pressure. Because that shoot, the 2 actors, maybe they were, they had some issues with like getting to the booking, and I arranged the booking for them, paid for it at the hotel, and then my contribution was kind of like handling the media from there, and then just especially, yeah, they were a bit nervous and stressed and overwhelmed. I almost got canceled, but because I had my shit together, basically was able to mostly go through. There were some issues, so no actual sex happened, but took some good pictures, and it was a good experience. That taught me a lot. But yeah, it's not as crazy as you would think. It's very professional, like any other business. You just have to get the stuff there. The people there, set up the location, book everything, make sure that everything's in place, people are in a good mood, set up the lighting, set up the cameras and stuff. Yeah, I want to do more stuff like that. Not necessarily the full-on porn, but some OnlyFans, some, what do they call it, boudoir photography. I like, if I can keep the business, the agency, and the community maybe 10-20% along that area, then it makes it just a little bit spicy, not full on, so it's not degenerate, or even without the degenerate, like there's great, responsible, and open-minded people in there, but I like to keep things still mainstream and just throw a little bit of spice of that, sexy oddness on there. So that was fun. And okay, so now what else do I have? Oh, one of the big highlights for 2024 is actually I spoke at an event, at a seminar, the lifestyle seminar hosted by Justin Mark, who's a good friend of mine. And I learned a lot through that, actually. Shout out to Justin, because he's a very open-minded guy. Even with business, like I pitched him this idea just like an idea, let's sort of seminar. Let's see if people are interested in what we have to say and if people are interested to buy. And then he's already done this before, so he had the network and was able to set up the location and the venue, his penthouse, and put it together. And then, I was actually really impressed by his professionalism. Not a lot of people know how to get shit done. And even though we didn't sell any packages and stuff that event, I still consider it a great success. And he gave me the opportunity to speak in front of the crowd for, I think it was like 5-10 minutes. So yeah, I really like that, being the authority now, kind of like the RAC guys on stage, was super cool. And even though I think still have a lot of learning to do, I think what I'm doing is moving on the right track, and that was proof of it, that I have value to offer to a greater community and some big ideas that once are set in place, hopefully now in 2025, I think are gonna impact a lot of people and add a lot of value to a lot of lives. So I'm very excited for that. All right, now for 2025, the goals ahead. I'm actually going to simplify it a lot, because in 2024, I had really 3 goals. One was hit 100K, which is really still my same goal for 2025, hit 100K net worth. I think I put last year, make 100K, but it was kind of vague. Like you can make 100K and just spend it all. I think it's ambitious, but I think I'm going to make over 100K, hopefully close to 150K. And then I want to save/invest 100K of that, so that my net worth is close to that by the end of the year. Whether that's company assets, crypto, or hard savings, we'll see what happens, but give or take, be worth around 100K, I think will be super important. Just because I realized how much of a big bottleneck money is. Like, I hate this movement on social media where they try to go anti-materialistic, like, oh, money doesn't matter, don't worry about that, rich people are greedy, blah, blah, blah. I think there's some kernel of truth to that, but I don't think it's based on wisdom. I think most of it is based on ignorance and feel good and almost sour grapes mentality. Because I've actually studied like proper spirituality and non-dualism and meditation and all that, and I think there's a little bit of that, a sprinkle of that, and what these people are saying, but in general, I don't think that's actually the spirit of the conversation. So I think money is phenomenal. It's just the sum of human productivity and how much of that, you contribute to and you have ownership of. So I think whether you're trying to do like socialist stuff, like giving back, like one of my goals actually through the dining club is to make food free. Like I hate seeing homeless people on the street. I've been homeless myself, but basically dead broke, where I can basically only afford like hot dogs and ramen, and it was not a very great way to live. So if we could at least figure that out for everyone, shelter and food, I think can be done within the next 5 years. Like, and people don't talk about that. Our politicians are caught up in their weird power games and their ego games, actually, because I don't think they're that powerful. So they're really ego games, which is embarrassing, because a power game would actually make sense if you're actually having great influence on the universe and on what's happening on the planet, which I don't think most people do. So it's a bunch of narcissism and Machiavellianism in any way. But there is actual problems that need solving on Earth, as I'm sure you've realized if you're a citizen of our beautiful planet. So for me, amassing, both getting the cash flow in, tracking and budgeting that cash flow, and making sound investments that work well for myself into the future. I think I've got it started. I've got a good handle of it, or I've started to get a good handle of it this year. In 2025, I'm really going to solidify that. So hit 100K net worth is my top one. Start my influencer agency is my second one. Technically, I would say I've already started. I've already done shoots. I've already paid models for shoots. I've already hired people on my team. I've already had people help me out. Just never in a really official and structured manner. I'm a big fan of like the MVP model. So you just try something first, and then after that, I'm good at overthinking. So it's easy to like strategize and refine it and optimize it if you have already something. So starting from nothing is trash. So I'm gonna concretize, is that a word? Make concrete the communities and the group shoots and the events that I have into something that's dependable. First of all, I guess for myself, like cash flow that I can live off of reliably, but perhaps more importantly for the models and the people in my community. That's what I noticed in the last few years of my time in Toronto and doing these events and stuff. Like people are very open, they're very willing, and they're great. And there's plenty of hot girls willing to throw events and stuff. There's plenty of dudes trying to help out. There just needs to be the proper leadership in place to make that happen. And I think great things can happen. So that's what I'm going to be working on setting up this year. And I should make huge progress even by summer. We're doing our first group shoot in Calgary 2 weeks from now. Hopefully that goes well. And then we're actually going to do a fashion show probably in the next 1 or 2 months, so let's say. And then my last goal is the most fun, the most spicy. It's for my dating life. So I've been putting my dating life a bit on a hold for now, for all 2024 basically, just working on my business, my cash flow, my personal finance, my status. I think all of those are equally important, especially as a man. Like I found that, especially where I was, like in downtown Toronto, like I have access to the girls of my dreams, meaning now I know and I see a lot of beautiful and smart and talented and cool women, but I'm not the guy that I need to be to date. Well, I'm a polyamorous. Let's go into that, but maybe one of them at this point. But I want to have the abundance to date many awesome women, perhaps forever, and have a full-on polyamorous relationship with kids and stuff. But at least try it out a little bit. That and the BDSM stuff. I just love like the domination and the discipline stuff. I think there's a lot of fun and cool things that can be had with this. Some mutually beneficial and mutually, fun adventures to have. And I've always had both mental blocks surrounding that, but also I want to do it from a place of power, meaning that I've had a relationship with my ex before where we almost struggled. We basically just struggled together, and that's cool and all, but I'm not really interested in those type of relationships anymore. I think two people coming together and trying to figure out this hard life is an interesting narrative for a relationship, but I don't find it. Actually, I don't think it's very interesting at all. I think it's cool. I think I'm glad people find that and use that to make sense of their life, but I want to figure out myself more and figure out life more and be a man of abundance, and then invite some women to benefit to that. So I think that's going to be my goal. Try out these two things, some BDSM, some polyamory, and then hit 100K and officially launch and ready up the influencer agency. So stay tuned. We'll see how that goes in January 2026. I'm doing this mostly as a time capsule to myself, but also to inspire other people. Whatever your goals are, make them happen, whether that's money-wise. Think as big as you can, become a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire one of these days. If money is not irrelevant by then, I will become a multi-billionaire. I will have great adventures with awesome people all over the world, whether that's hot models in my community, hot intellectuals. I don't only like models. Like models is one subset of women, but there's beautiful and awesome women of all types that I want to meet and have adventures with. So that's why it's polyamory is so important to me, as well as, the BDSM stuff. So don't let your memes be memes. I will try to concretize mine, and don't let my dreams be memes this year. So check back in a year. Good luck, guys.